Hello and welcome to Keff's F2P guide to KOFAS. I'm a totally free-to-play player on King of Fighters All-Star, and that's because of my philosophy to play the game with limited resources. This series is made with that in mind so that you get the most value out of your rubies. You don't have to like or subscribe, but I really hope that you find this useful. This video, we'll talk about set battle cards. We always get questions on set cards over the Discord, and it's usually the first thing that people ask. So let's dive right in and demystify it. We're going to be talking about 1. Set cards and how to use them, 2. Types of set cards, 3. Which non-limited set cards are the best and which ones to keep or to build, and 4. Transcending set cards, which will be pretty similar to the one that you've seen in the options video. So, without further ado, let's go in and check out some of these set cards. So in terms of set cards, you'll see that from any fighter. I'm going to be using Ryu over here as an example. So, set cards are going to be yellow in color. You can tell from the symbol in the top left hand corner, and as the name implies, they come in a set. So in global, there is no 3-star version of any set. You would see that in the Japanese as well as the Korean version. Sometimes you see screenshots of them where you have like this grayish looking art and then there are 3 stars. That's a benefit that they get. In global, we don't have such a thing, so you don't get like free 3-star fodder to fill in the rest of your set. That's fine, because in general you want to have like the full version of the sets anyway. So for each set card, you're going to be seeing that each of them actually comes with one effect. So in this case, for this set, it's increased attack by 7%, and then a set effect that comes into play when all 3 of these cards are put together on the same fighter. So in this case, it actually says increases Street Fighter 5 burn, shock, blah 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 damage by 75%. So this is the one that we would actually recommend for Ryu, Akuma, as well as EX Chun-Li. So basically all of the EX fighters from Street Fighter. So if you haven't already and you're still watching this, definitely farm all 3 sets, right? They're free on the Rush Dungeon. They also do something where you increase attack by 22% for 7 seconds whenever SFV fighter lands an active skill. So sometimes there are these effects that have a cooldown as well for each of these set cards. Now we're going to be jumping into the fact that each of these set cards are going to be really important for your fighter. So you always want to have a full set for each of your fighters. Don't ever don't ever go into a fight without at least a full set of whatever it is. It could be a 5-star set card. It doesn't really matter, but you just want to have a full set on a unit that you want to use because they boost your power tremendously. So I can give you a quick example. That one is not such a great example. Let's see if we would do this for Akuma. So you can see that in this case, because I'm lacking the set effect, my CP is going to drop like a rock, right? So that is 55,000 worth of CP. That's because of the really interesting set effect that this one particular set, the Tekken Set, has. Right, so I'll be talking a bit about that later as a special mention, but unfortunately this one set is no longer available thanks to a limited banner. So there are 2 kinds of set cards in general. The first one would be set cards like these, where it's 5 stars, it's yellow in color, the border is yellow in color. And then if you haven't been in the game for a while, they introduced FES set cards as well. Who knows when they'll introduce red bordered set cards, but that hasn't happened yet. But the FES set cards, they are purple bordered. They are generally a lot more powerful than the yellow set cards. And of course, they get to be upgraded one more time as compared to a yellow set card. So they can go up to Awakened level 7, Transcended level 7 instead of level 6. Yeah, so for set cards, I'm going to be talking about which are the most important set cards that you can get from the unified banner or from the farmable kinds of objectives. Right, I won't be talking specifically about the limited set cards because in those cases that's really on a banner to banner basis and they do rerun, but you won't see them that often. So just definitely pay attention to the reviews when they do come out, especially when a new banner comes out. So first on my list of most important sets would be this set over here, the Idol Kula set. Now, why is this set so important? You have 3 of these. Each of them actually does a different thing. It's a very unique kind of set. Let's see if I can show you one more. Yeah, that's type 3, that's type 2. So this one increases HP by a certain amount. And this one increases attack by 6%. But that's not the main draw of this set. The main draw of this one set is that it actually gives you this set ability. Increases strike skill damage by 30% and 50% chance of increasing attack by 20% for 5 seconds upon landing a strike skill. So this is a major DPS boost to anything with 2 or more strike skills. So you could take Leona as an example, BS Leona. That would be one great example of the Idol set actually being almost best in class for her, according to most tests. And the great thing, of course, about 5-star set cards is that they're fairly easy to transcend. And if you want to look at how to transcend something, you can go back to my previous video as well on option cards where I did a live transcendence. So that's the Idol Kula set. So that's why I keep a bunch of these around. If you do have any of these around and you're thinking of discarding them or something like that, don't. These are really quite useful as a set card. The second set card I'd like to talk about would be this one, the Mad Tea Party set. It's also available in the Unified banner. So the general banner that you can pull from, but you shouldn't. But anyway, general banner that you can pull from. And you also get the Mad Tea Party type set. So you have 3 of these set cards. Each of them again does a slightly different thing. So the first one gives attack boost. The second one gives up to 2% critical rate chance. And the third one gives up to 12% critical damage. So in total, it actually gives about 10% critical rate. Why is this significant? It actually boosts your CP by quite a significant margin. Remember that critical rate gives a lot of CP. So if you're looking for a card set that will boost CP significantly so that you can handle modes such as the dungeon modes, Advent Dungeon, in particular the Heart Element Advent Dungeon requires a whole lot of CP to be able to do at later stages. You definitely want your set card for that, or like really very high CP for that. And there's one more mode that is really annoying, but you do need a lot of CP for as well. That would be Chapter of Fight. Right, so Chapter of Fight, at this point, I would need like 200k CP, right, just to do this one stage. If not, you would do 0 damage, because the moment you do you have less than this amount of CP, you get increasingly little damage. And there's no way to cheese it with dot damage. So as this is still the Street Fighter V collab, there is one more mode that requires a whole bunch of CP, and that would be this mode, the Path of Martial Arts. At level 50, you need about 100k CP. If you don't have 100k CP, then again, you deal less damage. So at some point, it will be impossible for you to deal any damage at all. Yeah, so that's why the Mad Tea Party set is just so important. If you have the Mad Tea Party set, try and get critical rate on it so that you can boost the CP as much as possible. So one special mention card set that you can farm all the time would be the Victory Party set. So where do you get the Victory Party set? You actually get it in the the Epic Advent Set card dungeons. That's the one that I'm just looking at right now. So this one gives you the Nest Type 1 set. There's another one that features Mecha Gainits. That's the correct pronunciation for that. You can go into it, you can complete it, and then you get these tickets where you get the ability to perhaps get one of these set cards. This one's for the Nest card, and then you have the Victory Party set card. Or you can also craft it as well. So we'll look at it from the crafting screen, alright? So it's under battle cards. As you can see, I've crafted all of them, but you can actually look at it over here. It's the one with Mr. Big on it. So we'll jump into it and show you why it's really important to get a full set of these. In fact, 3 full sets of these as fast as possible. Now let's get to Mr. Big. It's over here. So one of these sets, each of these sets actually gives you defense of 7%. And on top of that, what's really important about this set is that it actually gains 3% power upon defeating an enemy. So it's pretty sweet that it increases attack by 42% of defense, but it's the 3% power upon defeating an enemy part that's so important for this set. Why is this so? Because when you use this set, whenever you do a mode like Time Attack, it helps you to get power incredibly quickly. And this allows you to use your 3PGs or your ultimates or your core finishers as fast as possible. So this combines really well with something like your Athena. In order to get 4% power all the time, then you add that on with the 3% power, you can generate PG really quickly so that you can use your ultimates, which freezes time. Yeah, so that's a bit more advanced, but you're definitely going to need this for modes like time attack and anything that really requires you to spam a lot of PG and also has a lot of enemies for you to kill, right? So it's not that useful for something like Guild Raid mode. Alright, so those are the 3 really noteworthy sets in the 5-star category. I'm going to be talking about what I consider the most important set in the 6-star category. So that would be your Fest card sets. Right, so when it comes to Fest card sets, in my opinion, the one that you can get the easiest in the Unified Card Banner, and also probably to me the most important one, would be this one, the Kaya set card. Right, so while you can see it, you can say that like the Victory Party set does something similar, the Kaya set card does represent one of the best in class in terms of defense to attack conversion. So what this set card does is that it makes all of your defense type units a complete beast, because defense type units tend to have a lot more defense than attack, and once you attach this set card to it, they actually get attack equal to 45% of defense. So this is what we refer to as defense to attack conversion. And this helps to make like a bunch of these units really, really powerful as well. Even your balance or defense units, they can use this and become a lot more powerful in terms of damage dealt. And then after that, we can talk about what I would consider like the 3 sisters of attack-based cards. So they all pretty much have the same amount of boosts. They don't have a whole lot of difference in between them in terms of like attack damage. And these would be the Akane set. So the Akane set, each of these cards would give 7% attack, increases attack by 12% for a set bonus, and 30% chance to deal extra damage equal to 150% of attack upon landing an active skill. This one is useful as well. It's good for surviving Guild Raid. So between the 3 sets, personally I would prioritize Akane set, but Leah set is also really good as well for PvP purposes. So Leah set, they also all give 7% attack. This one increases attack by a little bit more, and it also has a chance of resetting the cooldown. This generally always happens within a 45-second period, and it resets the cooldown of active skills upon landing an active skill. So the problem with this one, of course, is the cooldown, but it's a great tool to use in Championship or like other PvP modes. And of course, there's also this really annoying reflect 10% of damage received for 5 seconds when attacked. PvP exclusive set bonus. And the other one I'd like to talk about would be Noah, which is kind of like the granddaddy of Fest set cards. So this one's plain Jane. You just get like 7% attack. You only increase attack by 10%, but you do get a 15% chance to gain super armor for 3 seconds upon a successful attack. So that's still useful. In general, you don't see too much difference in damage between the 3 of these card sets. There is also the Serina card set. This one is more in terms of like being able to tag and give additional attack whenever somebody is tagging in. So this one also gives like a good chunk of attack damage, but the ability is not that special compared to say Akane or Leah in a sense. Alright, so that rounds up the 6-star card sets. You will see from my inventory as well that you have a whole bunch of limited card sets. Where are we going to see these? Yeah. So the first one would be the ones that you get from BS Volume 1, Volume 2, the limited DOA set, random SS Volume don't know what sets, and then of course the Guilty Gear set, which I have kind of a bunch of. Oh, I didn't even realize that I had this set. Cool. Right, so there were also like other limited sets that were given out at some point in time. One really noteworthy one would be the Chizuru set, which has given the highest defense to attack conversion so far. But in general, if you have a limited set, obviously you're not going to throw that away, so definitely keep it. If you have the full set, that's probably a good idea to try and build it up as well. But I didn't really mention too many of the limited sets here, mainly because it's really difficult to get them outside of reruns, right? You can't get them anymore, in fact. You can't even roll on the banners that they were in. So one definitely really special card set that I'd like to mention is the Tekken Set. So Tekken Set was probably definitely a mistake by Netmarble. It is by far the best 5-star card set, and in my opinion, the best card set in general. out of all of the card sets. Why? Because it gives an insane amount of critical rate as well as critical damage. Right, this one is not quite as relevant anymore, but critical rate and critical damage added on to a whole chunk of attack. Each of these cards gives 6% attack. Makes it give a whole bunch of CP. Right, so this CP is really important for clearing the 2 modes, in fact 3 modes that I mentioned earlier. So definitely, if you still have this set, build up all the way, never let go of it. This is the one card set that every veteran of King of Fighters All-Star wishes that they had more copies of. Right, if they ever did like another card set like this one, which is applicable to everybody, not just specific types. I think I would pull like crazy for all of these sets. Yeah. So that's it. That is the sets. That's a summary of all the sets that you definitely want to look out for. It used to be that the Kula set was really relevant, but not so much anymore, unfortunately. So in terms of transcending card sets, the kinds of stats that you definitely want to look out for. Give you an example over here. Okay, not defense, but something like not starlight damage either. You definitely want your crit rate, your attack, as well as your your crit rate, your attack, as well as your critical damage. All 3 of these are top priorities for you to get for your card sets. Of course, the one that will give the most CP boost would be crit rate, right? But obviously, you know, spend according to your means. Don't blow everything just trying to reroll for the perfect stat. That's really working with limited resources here. Alright, so that's a quick roundup of all of the set cards that you want to be looking out for and the ones that you don't want to throw away. There are other set cards that you can use in order to boost your gold gain. That would be this one, the Halloween set card. But if you have been collecting set cards, this shouldn't be too hard to come by as well. And there's also that limited set card that was given out not too long ago, the Ramon set card that gives even more gold gain, 20% when clearing a stage. So if you're lucky enough to be around during that time, you never have to worry about getting set cards for gold gain ever again. Okay, so that's all of the set cards that I'll be talking about in this video. If you have any comments, if you found this useful, if you want me to make other videos talking about other stuff, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks, and bye for now.